Hello, good afternoon. This is
Hello.
Banners of North America. We have some very special guests on today. This is Tenton of Feudal Kingdoms fame, if you'll say hello.
Hello. How's it
And
going?
we also have TammTamm, another legendary old head in the Bannerlord community. He made the map of Feudal Kingdoms, if you'd like to say hello.
Hello. Well, I didn't make the map per se. I won't take
He made
all
the
that
map.
credit, but but I made some parts of it.
Some parts of it, yes. And we have in our in the cycling screenshots here pictures of the map, and there are some videos that I will soon be pulling up for your enjoyment while you listen to this conversation. It will all be on mute, sadly, but the links to the videos will be in the description, so you can experience some real history if you would like to.
Is anyone watching the stream right now?
Right now, let's see. No. But
Damn.
someone will be eventually. This is a video archive, so people usually watch it later on, or sometimes if we do it early in the morning,
Oh,
they'll watch
okay.
it
They
at
can
work.
pull it up later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
cool.
the VK one got what 350 views.
Yeah, something like
Okay.
that. Okay, so
Yeah, dude.
the first question that I'll ask is we do have some we have questions that were laid out before this interview started, just so the audience knows. They're not the same questions that we usually ask, because these aren't clan leaders. These are I guess advisors, maybe counselors. Number one, what was the Bannerlord community back in your heyday? So I'm asking you, like, what were the major differences between what you know about the scene back then versus what you see now?
TammTamm, you want to go first, or you want me?
I mean, like I wasn't part of the Warband crowd. I was only part of the Bannerlord. So, but let's say it was a lot more casual back in the day. I mean, at the beginning of the whole, when Persistent Empires came out, it was a bit new. Everyone was a bit naive. It was a hell of a lot more fun.
Yeah.
You know, because
It was a lot less
nothing was
rules
personal
as well.
yet. You know, it was just do whatever you want, conquer some castles, kill some people. That's it. How about you, Tenton? I mean, you play Warband. So.
I agree with that. I mean, it was a lot less looser in terms of rules. There wasn't any like wartime rules where there was offlining rules, but there were wartime rules where you have to get on this time, you can't attack at this time, and I think it created more of an environment where people who weren't in clans can just make a random clan out of nowhere and start warring the entire map just to do it and create content and create more wars, which is kind of what they need now. I would say.
Okay, so that was a little bit about is that specifically the persistence scene, like persistent worlds and everything like that, or were there a lot of like community hosted events like there are now with like the HRBH or like Atria or something like that? Like, were there individual servers that were put up that host events?
Yeah, there was one of the major people who were in charge of the community were Gadiz and Fergus as well. Fergus was also the leader of the PE version of PB, so he was in charge of the NA community for a little bit. And they did host events where, like, you know, there would be a field battle or a line battle. Like, for instance, in Persistent Worlds, Roy, the Bannerlord, he was also in charge of a clan called House Targaryen and House Blackfire. And they had a Battle of the Bastards moment on a Game of Thrones map in Persistent Worlds. Would basically reminiscing on the Battle of the Bastards and reenacting it, which was really cool. They had events like that. But in terms of events en masse, not really. But it was more like in the moment, in the actual game, like Persistent.
Okay, so
In
persistent was
Persistent Worlds
like a
game, like
major.
in the server.
You'd say it was like more than 70-80% of the time that like clans and players would spend on the Bannerlord game?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, so like 80% was like persistence, just regular battle to battle, not planning anything, and 20% was planned probably, or like 10%.
Okay.
Yeah, almost all of it was persistent. I mean, there was some
Yeah.
like skirmishes on skirmish servers and duels, but the main stuff, it was all happening on persistent.
So the first kind of I guess clarification or further, backup question I'll ask to that is what's in my mind now is the fact that a lot of clans that are based on PB nowadays, the killer flaw is that PB is not stable. It's not up a lot of the time. There isn't a lot of availability to access those types of games. Um, in y'all's day, was was it a lot more stable? Like, was there a lot more to do for longer periods of
Hmm.
time?
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely was. There was probably around close to 200 people almost every single day. I mean, it was packed full, like constantly packed. Um, Pertaining to why it happened, I think it was just the clan, like clan leaders and stuff like that, where they would create more of a dynamic to have like bigger battles and stuff like that, as well as the rules um being loose as well. But there's definitely like 200 people playing almost every day. Like it was packed a lot.
And the rules, are they there wouldn't happen to be like a website or like a maybe a screenshot lingering around somewhere, maybe a Google
Oh, for the
Doc?
old persistent? Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I'll be honest with you. It was
Yeah,
such a long time ago.
I'd imagine that
I don't even.
it would be so hard to remember the rules like if you just read
Yeah.
them, let alone like 5 years out.
Yeah.
I mean, I
But
That was
guess
that's
you could
a
okay.
probably
long
dig
time
it
ago.
up on the Persistent Empire's Discord server, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh
probably
well, yeah,
quite far
that'd
back.
probably be the best place to start looking. I would definitely appreciate if anyone would get that answer back. So I guess the next question I'll
Yeah.
ask
If I
here
look
is
through it, maybe I can find some.
the next question I'll ask, number two, is what were the main causes of the increases and decreases in the numbers of players? And this is still about the scene as a whole. And I mean, I guess since persistence would take up around 70-80% of the time, I guess we'll factor in both that and whatever minor other stuff happened. But was there a consistent pattern between what would result in a lot more players, coming around and staying in the Bannerlord community? Um, and
Right.
patterns of what would cause a lot of
Right.
decrease, like obviously summertime school would cause those, but anything else that you
Yeah.
notice?
Well, I can definitely see the increase part of that question was definitely what I saw in persistent empires were influencers that would notice the game and then hype it up and then bring their Discord communities into the game. And basically it's really just word of mouth. Um, for instance, Asmongold, I don't know if you remember Tam, when Asmongold came on, he brought in like probably it was like 1,000
Oh yeah,
people
yeah. I mean,
packed.
the game was kind of I
Yeah.
wouldn't say
It's
dying, but it was
crazy.
definitely
Crazy.
taking a downward spiral or going downwards.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, yeah, Asmund definitely revived something that wouldn't have lasted as long without that audience that came with it.
Yeah, mostly the influencers that came in and people like you who are like spreading the word about the game is really where the increase of numbers came in. What really is the main question is the retention. Like I saw with my own eyes when Asmongold brought in hundreds and hundreds of players, each clan had hundreds of people, and Pike went from like 30, I think it was 30 of us,
But yeah,
into a 300 400 person like community on Discord, and within a matter of weeks, because this one influencer came in with hundreds of people. Like it was
yeah,
insane, and it was almost like a disaster because so many people come into a clan. There's so many different personalities that interact with each other and people fight and stuff like that. So
well, yeah.
it was very interesting to watch that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I remember bringing in like cartloads of people from spawn, just
Yeah,
going.
and what he's dude, Teo, like literally, you have to get on a cart and ship like hundreds of people in your cart to your castle because like everybody was spawning in, and like each clan leader wanted more people in their clan to fight the wars, so they were like, it was it was so chaotic, but it was really fun.
Yeah, new players, they became a new currency.
A currency. Would they be like traded?
We created slave.
Almost.
All right, Pile Spike. Should we talk about this, Tam? Should we created slave Fridays? So we made slave camps, and we traded players, and we created a market for it. It was really funny for a while.
I mean, we
Market?
gathered some. I remember. Yeah. We
made
forced
a
them
lot
into another
of money.
vassal faction, basically subjugated them, put them into a farm where they worked.
Yeah, TammTamm was the overseer. There was like a couple overseers that we would send down every day just to check if they were making resources, to bring resources to the main castle, which House Pike was on. And we would sometimes we would gather them. We would go to the church. We would hold a sermon, and then we would march them to the arena, and we'd make them fight like gladiators, and we would bet money on which group won. So it was like we just tried to keep people interested in the game, and I think that's what clan leaders
It sounds like you did a good job.
Create small events. Yeah, if you create content and you just are creative with it and you just have fun, just make people laugh. Like, don't take the game so seriously. It's not always about winning and losing. It's about building a fun memory that people can think about, when they're not playing the game. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people work, they get home from work, they don't want to deal with any drama, they don't want to deal with anything. They want to have fun, and they want to just, go out and do some fun wars, fight in the arena, or like RP as a priest.
Yeah, they want to sing some marching songs and finally kill some guys. I mean,
march around in line formation into epic shield battles that we had. Like, it was plenty of battles that were very epic. But I think creating more small events like quests and stuff around the map, like people that are just naturally happen. Like, if there's creative players that do that, that increases the number of people when you have creative players like that part of your community. Definitely decreases in numbers would be toxicity in all forms. That I saw was definitely that. A lack of creative clan leader battles and an increase in the number of alliances was a factor that decreased the player size, I think, because the amount of alliances that happened, like, there was usually the half the map versus the other half of the map. And if you're part of the half of the map that is fighting the other half, you can't fight anyone else in that half of the map because you live next to each other. You have to share resources, and basically everybody will gank you if you turn against your alliance. So you would hop on every day and you would play for like 10 hours, like 5 hours. You would surf, and then usually around 8 every day. Yeah, usually you fight the same exact war in the same exact castle you would surf like 8 hours, and then you would hop on at 8 o'clock, and then the war would be done in 1 hour. And that would only happen on the weekends as the player count lessened, so it was less frequently as well. So it was just a stagnation of the same thing over and over and over. There was no breaking alliances or anything, which I think was part of the downfall. I think there needed to be, hence why I made Feudal King. I don't know if you could talk. Yeah, I guess I could talk a little bit.
It's coming up, and
hence why I made the yeah. But I think that answered for a little bit, right? decreases
Yes,
and
certainly,
increases.
certainly.
Right.
That does give like great insight because some of those are kind of foreign to me as concepts. Because I don't have a lot of the points of
Mm,
reference that like I don't know the conditions that result in those. But
right.
for a lot of like you said, like with the alliances, that's an issue that we constantly run into.
Hmm.
We have the
Oh
debate
yeah.
nowadays where it's like because some of the smaller clans they can't take any castles by themselves, so they band together, and then that
Yeah,
force
exactly.
together just outmatches an individual clan that has
Yeah.
less numbers, and so it's a
Not.
it's a complex
Yeah.
thing. But I guess I don't know what it feels like is that there was more dynamism in y'all's day. Like there was a lot more switching and a lot
Hmm.
more movement of players and communities and ideas. Whereas nowadays it seems like there is kind of a lack of inter-clan and inter-community communication, and that just kills any kind of creativity. Because anytime you have an idea,
I
we're just like
100%
nobody's gonna
agree.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just becomes
100% agree
stale.
with that.
Everything, exactly as Tenton
Yep.
said. I mean, guess
It's a
kind
very
of
hard issue. It's a very hard problem to fight, though. Like, how do you fight that problem? It really comes down to the people in charge, um, who have to make that decision to allow others to voice their opinion, and not only voice it, but do something about it and take action. And that's a lack, of what's happening right now. There's a lack of taking action. It's a lack of just staying the status quo, doing the same thing over and over. That's eventually going to be the downfall. I think there has to be not constant changes, but enough changes to make it interesting. And I think that's what's lacking right now. As you said, there's a lack of communication flow, and that needs to get better as well. Um, that's a it's an issue where the people who are leading the clans or the majority of the population have to get together and talk about, as well as their constituents. Personally, for me, I would just let the whole community get into one Discord and talk about it, and then like pick a couple people
How chaotic that would
around,
be.
because it would be so chaotic, bro. But like, think about it. Like, there's people that came into the server in FK that had really good ideas that never played the game, and we had a channel that there were suggestion channels that we'd have and talk about, and they never really have their voice heard, but it would be chaotic. I don't know how you would do it. I guess you would just have a system of like a PT, like permission to speak system. I guess I don't know. I don't know how
I
to
mean,
do
I
it.
remember we'd have the meetings with the admins and other people down in the Abbey basement about different suggestions that would come up. People would vote on it, sort of down there,
Yeah.
but we would actually discuss it.
So on the map on FK, we created the Abbey faction, which was the admin faction for it. And basically, I won't get into all of it, but we had part of the map was there's a little door you can get enter, and there was an underground cave, church that was a round table that had a bunch of seats in it. And the people who were running things would come down there. We would talk on like politics and stuff, and sometimes get assassinated. Like major wars were planned. It was kind of cool. But in terms of the server health and stuff like that, yeah, there's a lack of communication. There needs to be um, a spreading out of power and people, and allowing people to move around and not discrediting them when they move around, so, to create more smaller clans as well. Because I think the smaller clans are good. I don't know if you think that, Lamela, but like I think the small clans are good for the population, and having different voices being heard and different prominent figures. Instead of like 5 clan leaders, there could be 10 clan leaders, and then that creates more knowledge when you have more people. So
I'm definitely
Yeah, I
of that
think smaller
opinion.
clans they offer more casual gameplay.
yeah,
I mean, it
and
gives
more
them more
casual.
flexibility.
You'll have less alliances. You'll have more people doing sporadic little engagements of 10 versus 10 little shield battles throughout the map. And eventually leading into one major battle, maybe,
Yes, I
where
mean
the
I share this line of
yeah.
thought completely. Even if we
Mhm.
take if I was going to be completely selfish here, right? As a host of a show, I'm incentivized to make there be as many clans as possible so that I can have more episodes, right? Um, but
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
better for the community
that's true.
if the players have more options, because I
Yeah,
mean I know there's a lot of places out there that may be actually like as toxic as people say. There may be some places that are not
yeah,
great places to be. And if there are other options that players know that they can have, then not only do clan leaders have to make it fun to be in their clan over someone else's, but also
yeah.
the
I
clans
agree.
that are actually bad, the places that have like bad cultures and toxic,
Hmm.
stuff like that, they will naturally just decrease because people will just naturally flow elsewhere because that's their
Yeah,
incentive. We
that's
have
so
to
true.
incentivize what
Yeah, I
we
didn't
need to
think of it
happen.
like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of it like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because
I've had a lot of
because
the
hmm
smaller clans on the show, and what they say too is that you're able to do a lot with the quality of your clan, of your team, in terms of like skill, in terms of like relationships, IRL, in terms of a lot of things, because you can put more of your limited attention into these people and what you're doing, and there's less like constant organization that has to happen, um, and that has its own
yeah,
benefits as well.
I agree completely. I see the larger would there's nothing wrong with the large clans, but you got to kind of look of it if we're gonna talk like philosophy and stuff like that. If you kind of look of it like a big clan is like a city, is like
Yes.
New York City, right?
Yes.
Where it's so congested and so mechanical that the creativity doesn't really flow. You know what I mean? When you have a smaller clan, it's like a small village or a small town out in the countryside. And what perspective do you get when you enter a small town compared to a city? You know, people are usually more angrier in cities. People are more
Yes.
like, on edge. And then small towns are like
Villagers
more
relaxed.
yeah, they're more relaxed, they're more
Yeah,
communicative,
in
they're more
cities, there's less
expressive.
consequences for being an asshole.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's hiding spots for the toxic people in the larger settings. Yeah, and so that's what we have to go to, I think, towards the a spread of a vast choice option list of vast many of clans in all different colors, like all different banners and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Actually, the
Yeah,
one
prevent
of
it
the
from
first
becoming a
videos,
clan mosh pit.
Yes.
one of the first videos that I put out on YouTube outside of like mechanical like training, I've been making content basically since I got into Bannerlord multiplayer, and after the first training
Hmm.
video that I did, the videos that I've been making have been focusing on one thing, and that's the mass unit tactics with all of the players as individuals and the banners. The first video that I really am proud of that I put music to, is literally just banners waving above units that are fighting. That's the whole video. And I love it so much because it encapsulates a lot of the reason why I play this game. I won't go into that because that'll get
Dude, that's
off of
crazy to
this
think about.
conversation.
It so it's just the flags flying over
It's
the
just
and
the
is there like
banners.
arrows and battle going
Of
on?
course, yeah. Well, it's you get to see all of it. I'll send you the link and maybe I'll play it after all of
I
the
kind of
other
see
ones.
what kind of picture you're painting. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
That's
and
my
that's
banner
That's cool
lord.
actually
though.
that inspired the name of this very show, Banners of North America.
Yeah,
That's
dude, this is great. This is great. This Banners of North America sounds like it just sounds like captivating. Like, you know what I mean, Tam? Like it sounds professional. It sounds very like it
Sounds
sounds like
very
a
good.
movement.
And
It sounds
I
like a
gotta say, the
movement. It
it
idea of
has
sounds
to
it
like
be.
I'm
was a really good one.
it sounds like I have to be part of this movement. That's what it sounds like.
I'm honored to hear that. Yeah, I mean, I'll accept all the help I can get.
Rally to it.
But I think
Rally.
I don't know if there has to be much movement. I think everybody kind of agrees with us, and it's only like a few people who have a lot of hands on the levers. And if we, I don't know
Yeah.
if this is the right word, but if we displace them or put the levers in the hands of people who have, you know, the community as a priority, the community will grow. It's exactly like I'm watching this video right now. This is on my main screen in front of me. This video
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
y'all leading this house pike. These are things I don't see very much. And what you're describing to me is something that I know for a fact every single Bannerlord player would love to experience, but we don't have it. We used to have it, so we know that we
Yeah.
can have it. We just have to get there again. Um, I think what you're expressing,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do, what everybody is like saying, is we want this again. Let's get there, please. Oh, we just have to
Yeah.
figure out how.
We
They
want the
just,
parades.
I think people just need help. They need help. They need a path, you know.
Someone to
But
guide
there's a
them.
lot of prominent figures that you could talk to. Patty is really, I don't know if you talked to Patty.
Yes, he was
He's
actually
probably
the
one of the
episode
best clan
previous.
leaders. Yeah. Yeah. There's a number of really good clan leaders that I've seen that have really good, genuine personalities, and I feel like are very good like leaders, probably in game and outside of the game.
Mhm.
Is Patty, and then the Joms Viking leader, War Boss. He's a
War
good one
Boss.
too.
I've only talked to him once. It was a pleasant
Yeah, there's
conversation,
a
though.
few, and obviously Sterngard. Sterngard, bro. Like there's these communities that are in this game that are very genuine people,
Yes.
and they just want to have fun.
I think the
Just
And
give them
Sterngard
a
of Essel
playground, and
one,
they'll
They
make
just
so
need
much.
a
that
yeah.
episode that they did was the most wholesome one. That's the comments that I got from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Was that was the most wholesome episode that there was yet.
Oh yeah, Sterngard or
Dude, they're great.
honestly, I don't think I could have done FK without Sterngard. I think they were such a crucial part of it. Especially like Holocron. Dude literally was staying up with me making coding because we had to code the recipes. So when players like press F on an object, you got to have a code to say this recipe amounts this. So it's like one sword will equal 4 iron ingots, and basically you had to stay up. We had to stay up and literally code each one because we customized it because we were trying to make it less grindy of a game, and we're trying to make it where people can get swords very quickly, because what we wanted to do in FK was make wars constantly and have chaos basically, and it was pretty fun to watch and do. But yeah, Sterngard, Holocron was probably one of the best help. His brother Zalek did the lore and literally stayed up and had his own, was literally the head lore master, and then Kyra was the head admin. So like Sterngard was probably the best, the clan for FK, as well as Patty and the Rodux were pretty good, and all the other clans that came on were amazing. Buldania,
I mean, we had a bunch of
who
EU
else?
clans come
Dude,
on
there was
too.
so many. Yeah, there was EU. We also had Puffzilla. We had an entire
Brazilians.
Brazilian community with their own Discord that was dedicated to FK. It was 3 Brazilian clans in their own server.
Yeah, this guy, he hand painted a map for FK.
Hand painted a map for FK. It was incredible. Like, because this guy was an artist too in real life, and we would talk a lot on while I was trying the map and stuff, and he just drew the map because he's an artist in Brazil. So like I believe in community because you can meet these cool people on here. You know, there's a lot of like different types of people on here that you can meet, and I think having a spread out community with a lot of smaller clans or major clans that, or just more clans in general, would add to it, and you'll see different people rise from the ashes,
and it's like
you'll
you said,
see
like
more people rise.
Big clans, right? They are you mentioned that they're kind of like cities. Cities don't last; they're unsustainable unless they're fed by rural populations, dispersed settlements,
Exactly.
distant from cities. So we need, and I was doing a video earlier. It's actually going to be out tonight about an interview that Warbandman did. It's a guy in the community did with some leaders, some clan leaders of NA, and one of them, Gage of KOTF, said that there has to be, or there should be at least some diversification. Like there has to be a dynamic between large groups and small groups, not just big groups that are either big because they are big by themselves or big because they're unities of smaller groups. There has to be encouragement in PB towards reasons to play for small guys and reasons to play for big guys, and where it's fun for everyone. We also have Patty Nadros in the comments. He says Tenton and TammTamm are my boys.
Patty.
Look at Betty.
Patty, do you want to later on, we might even, if Patty's free, we could have him on, right? We can add him to the thing, have him in if y'all have time for that later on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Yeah.
So
We'll see how long.
Yeah, we'll
I
see how
don't know
long.
what time it is.
Question
Yeah.
3.
It's like
Question 3 is about feudal kingdoms. You've touched on points around, but I kind of want to get into the structure of it, the foundations. Why did y'all start feudal kingdoms, and then how did you do it?
what was Tinta's vision, so I guess we'll have to start with it.
Yeah. So why did I start it? And how? Okay.
Yes.
So why I started was I basically took a break after disbanded Pike for like a few months, and then I came back, and I came back to a almost dead server, and it was the current management of it was not active enough to deal with the problems at hand, and I couldn't sit there and just watch that happen because I had a lot of free time. So I was like, I might as well just put some effort into this and help it out. So I decided to make a map for PB, and it was called the Three Kingdoms. And it was basically I sent it to you, one of the pictures. It was basically like 3 continents, and I wanted to make a map where the provinces would fight civil wars against each other in the province, and then elect a king, and then assault the other province to create a bigger war. Basically, the system was each province had 4 or 5 castles, and each castle had its own resource to make. So what you were saying before, how you were saying like the bigger cities need the smaller towns around it to feed it, basically it was that idea. It was like there was a provincial capital that had only a forge to make armor, to make weapons. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like one place was the army, the military arm of the province. The whole province can make weapons, but this particular place had walls, and it can make the best of the weapons, like plate armor and stuff. The other places couldn't make the plate armor. So,
forcing people to work together.
Did you?
Yeah, we forced people to work together to make weapons. Yeah,
that is something that's fantastic. Two questions.
Yeah.
One is a little bit deeper, but the first kind of surface level question I'll ask right now, just to get it out of the way. Did you hard code any kind of benefits to having the whole thing? Like if one clan or kind of one sort of alliance owned the whole thing, would they get like a certain buff?
Besides from getting the title of emperor on the Discord for like a week. Not really.
Okay.
But they would
The crown in game.
And the crown. They would have the crown and the glory and announcement on Discord that they claimed the map. And
that'd be great.
I think I was gonna give them as an admin I can give money, so I think I was gonna give that faction a substantial amount. Also, we were gonna make an ability of like when a king was crowned, they can have ability to actually change the dynamic of the map. So if the king was like, we want a lighthouse, we want a harbor, I would go into the map and I would make a harbor and a lighthouse. If they
my god.
So like that, and that idea came from Mango's. Mango, I'll introduce Mango. We could not have done FK without Mango. Like literally,
Mango's was incredible.
Could not have happened. Mango is one of the best coders, mappers. Very smart guy. He's from Canada, though. You know, sadly, I'm joking. I love all the Canadians.
Me too.
No, but like, but anyway, he's literally one of the best mappers and coders in the community, and he took some time to just help me, and he like. I could not be more appreciative of that guy. If you want to learn anything with mapping or anything, Mango is the dude to go to.
Mango. All right. Does he have videos
Yeah,
that he makes, or is he just kind of an open door?
yeah, he's an open door. I don't think he makes any videos, but he had his own server. It was a heavy roleplay server, and he's actually constructing a Roman RP map. I don't know if he's currently doing it.
I don't think so, but well, he came very far with it. I mean, it was incredible what I saw.
Yeah, he made his own heavy roleplay server, which all the major clans played on. And he basically, when people wanted their own house, he would go in the editor and make it for them and stuff like that. So like he started with a blank piece of map, and then he just added construction if players gathered the certain amount of material that he needed. And then like if they would cut down a bunch of trees, give it to Mango next day would build a house for them. So yeah, I got that idea from him, and Mango's helped me with FK. He was an owner, the co-owner as well.
And just a minor interjection question. Was it as easy back then as it is now to like update mods and then have them like on your Steam? Like you just had to subscribe and unsubscribe and then
so
good?
yeah, I mean, I don't really have that much experience with the modding and stuff. I only had it for like that few months I was with Mango and Arain as well.
I mean, like, because as a player myself, what we have is we have a lot of mods, which is great. We love the people that do the mods. There is like a quality of life hassle that we have to go through, which is not bad at all, but just something to point out, which is that every time a mod is updated, you have to go to Steam and unsubscribe from it, subscribe from it, and then it works again. You can put it in your launcher. A lot of the updates of all of the mods and the events that we play have a lot less substance than a single house being added for a certain faction. I just want to point that out for people to think about how much is added to the mods that you're constantly having to uninstall and reinstall. Like how many times do you have to click for a certain
megabytes or gigabytes?
Well, just kind of in general. I mean, there's a lot of updates that we have to do nowadays, and I feel like not every single update gives you something that is worth updating a mod for. It's not even worth the time to sometimes.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll move on then. You mentioned a lot of its rise and the factors that made it succeed. So I guess we can like run over that one more time, like the last time you run over your shirt with an iron. Are there any factors of its success, its fame, its glory that you haven't touched on yet?
Yeah, so I could talk a little bit. The rise and the factors of the success, definitely I saw was just consistency. When I was making the map, I made a Discord and I stayed in the voice chat of the Discord, and I would turn my mic off and I would just run a stream of me making a map, and I would just keep doing that. And I've noticed a lot of people came in just to talk, just to say some ideas, and I guess once like people were starting to do that, they went back to their Discords and they talked and they were saying, oh, Tenton's probably making something. So that spread the word. And so consistency, if you're going to be a leader in something, you have to show people that you're actually taking action and you're actually doing something, and people will naturally want to be involved and want to look at something, look at it. So that was one of the factors to success in the beginning. As it progressed, it really was managing people and putting the right people in the right areas. And if you don't have the right people, it's just going to fall to pieces, So it's like I had to have a good admin team. I had to have a good head admin. and creating that, and then making sure that you have the technical side to it, which was Mango. Creating sections of the Discord where the complaints go when people file complaints on players in game. You need to know how to do that. So it was basically managing people or leaders who were in charge of things, creating a lore section. I don't think people really realize the power of roleplay and how strong it is if you really create a pathway for people to want to roleplay.
That's true.
Get engagement like crazy.
That is, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
your
probably one of
engagement
the
will
reasons why,
skyrocket.
like, a lot of clans nowadays. I'm still watching the same video because this is incredible.
Yeah.
It's a long video.
Right.
A lot of clans nowadays that I see, particularly in PB or some of the clips that you watch, half of this formation would have been split off, you know, chasing one guy or like, you know, waiting AFK.
Yeah.
There's these guys are consistently engaged in formation for long periods of time.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's some clans who can do it now, which is incredibly impressive. Shout out to Atria. Shout
Yeah.
out to BRE. I mean, if we want to keep it in A. Shout out to VK sometimes. But there is
Yep.
not a lot of like this kind of structure, this RP aspect, this like
Yeah.
understanding
Yeah.
of you're in this
It's
server
pure.
to
Yeah.
have fun, but you're also here for a reason. There is a way to have fun and you know, not do whatever you want at the same time. Both of those can be true at the same time.
Yeah. 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 We went on random quests. Like I would constantly form the men up into march and formations. We had sergeants, we had like officers in the back and the front. And we would march and we would do side quests. We would go collect the vassal taxes. We would all go to the main church. We would hold sermon. Our
Hold
religion,
weddings.
we adopted our own religion, which was called the religion of the rock, under the rock god, and we would march around with rocks, and we'd find heretics, and we would bash them with rocks until they loved the rock god.
Until they loved the rock god.
And we created crusades. Like we made people who were our vassals adopt the rock religion, and if they didn't, we would launch a crusade, or like we would burn heretics. We would do stuff like that, you know, just fun, crazy things. We would also make cart forts. Like we would get a bunch of carts, we would drag them to a choke point, like a bridge.
Okay.
And we would make a cart fort to block that passage, and we would tax people tolls and stuff. And then we would have an officer in charge of that camp with his own section of men.
That is incredible.
Patrolling. There was payday. Also, I created in-clan drama for good reasons of in-game drama. I mean, like in-clan drama, which is like RP like drama. Like
yes. Did y'all have like different
we would
have
have
different like sub clans that y'all did?
Yeah, we had the cavalry commander, we had the infantry commander, we had the archer, and then we had the section called the seneschals. Were you seneschal, Tam? Or were you?
I was a footman until the end somehow. 2 years.
You were the best though. You were the Batman.
I think you just forgot to give me a role, or did you?
That's not true. Actually, knowing me, probably. There's always stuff going on. That's why. All right. You have to. What was I saying? I forgot what I was gonna say. I forgot what I was saying. That's bad.
I was so
anyway.
I forgot what you were saying too.
Me too.
I guess
it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me.
It'll come back. So just to summarize that last the rise and the factors of success, it's consistency, which encouraged a lot of people. Like it was reliable. They knew they could go there, and that created a lot of stability. You had lore in RP, which I
figured out what I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, lore in RP, and we had like, so on the RP factor of it, we had the seneschal class, we had the captain of the archers, we had infantry, and then we have the Kingsguard, the knights, and then we have the officers, the lords, and the counts. But the seneschal class would always be making more money than everybody, because they would just stay back and they would farm gold. They would collect resources for the whole faction. And I was like, okay, these guys. I was checking everyone's bank accounts, and I was like, these guys are the richest people in the clan. So we created a drama where we were going to put a tax. Yeah, I was called the taxer. They gave me the title of the taxer, and basically we taxed our own people, and we created like fake rebellions, and like half the clan would go join another faction just to fight us, but they were in our same clan just for the hell of it. And the next day we all fight together, you know?
Yeah.
So like stuff like that, making it not so serious, but like keeping that role play aspect of it really helped. Like I saw personally a lot of success with that.
I like it. And there's so much here. I'm gonna have to listen back to this about 2 or 3 times. There's a lot, but moving on so that we don't stay here for too long. The stagnation and loss of interest. Every dog must have his day.
That's true.
And how did it go from this golden age? And this, I guess, truly was a golden age. I have not heard a period of multiplayer Bannerlord, let alone persistence, at all described in the way that this is described, or talked about in the way that this is talked about. We have I'll just some comments real quick. I'm misspeaking a lot. Zenith113, a dedicated supporter of Bannerlord content. I see him in the comments of every new Bannerlord video, and we appreciate that a lot. Layer Soldier, he says, this was a fun march, that previous video from the Twitch stream. He was there. Patty Nadros is he was. Layer Soldier, what was that, 113? Then we have Patty Nadros saying various things. I kind of want to get him on here if we get through this fast enough. So we'll go back to these questions.
Patty's great.
He is great. I encourage you to check out that previous episode if you haven't already.
I will, 100%.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to the audience. But yes, you too. I'll send the link here, and I'll have that there for you.
I don't know who's talking to. It's the first time I did this.
Oh, that's okay. We'll get used to it, and this is live, so I mean, I'm just as new to streaming as any of them are. So, the stagnation and loss of interest. What would you say were the key factors in that, and or if you just want to give like a sequence or a timeline, however you want to tell it to us.
Yeah.
You mean in regards to feudal kingdoms?
Feudal kingdoms, yes.
I mean, it was quite obvious. I mean, I think it was just to speak. I don't want to speak on Tenton's behalf, but I observed they overload in work and just the amount of stuff he had to. I mean, the server was growing, and we had a lot of people playing, and we had like I think 2 admins who were doing tickets, and eventually in the end it was 1 admin, and then it was Tenton, and then it was doing all the tickets. He was basically being game master, being server owner, also adding stuff on the map while also handling the tickets. And Tenton was such a key part of it that when he got burnt out, I mean, it kind of fell apart a bit. Tenton,
no, I would agree. It's just because I was spending so much time, I knew what was going on and everything, and not people were the admins couldn't get on most of the time. A lot of people were like, there was one guy, Praetor, who was in the army, who was literally in Germany, and he was helping with the tickets on his free time, which was didn't have to do that, but there was a bunch of people that the admins were definitely getting overloaded with stuff, and we weren't getting as many admins, new ones, and the old ones were getting burnt out faster than we could get the new ones. So the admin issue was definitely a big thing, because that definitely affected it. Also, I don't want to go too far into the talking about it, but there was pullback from major clans who were part of PB.
Okay.
And we had kind of a little beef. There was a little beef going on between we could leave it there. The PB side of the community. Yeah. But so that, I mean, that was a little bit, and then I would say just the constant of updating the map, because I feel like once you have one map, you get bored of it within like a month.
That's
And then
true.
I had to make another map. I didn't have another mapper to help me, and I was already burnt out as it is. And then I had to make a new one. I was like, I can't. I don't
So
know
it
if I want
ended
to
up
do that. And
just
then
being a function of like stress of you just had too many hats.
yeah, that, and I would want to point out that the offlining, I made a rule where you can offline people, and that did affect the bigger clans for sure, because
They did not like that.
they did not like that. So it was a trial and error of different rules to see how people would handle it. That affected it as well, which was definitely the offlining rule, definitely, because I wanted to make it more persistence, and people fighting and not worrying about, like, okay, if there is an offlining rule, that means that is their castle. You know what I mean? I didn't want people to think that they own that castle for the rest of that map. I wanted people to think that you log on and you could go find a different castle and just start off in there, because that's how PW was. Most of the clans would pick one castle one day, and then the next day they would be in a different one, fighting a war. Now what you have is castle claims, where people stay in one castle and just stay there for the rest of the map, which just stagnates it. So I tried destroying the stagnation by creating the offline rule, no offlining rule, and I took it away, and it kind of messed with the dynamic of it. So that was an issue as well.
I see. Yeah, I mean, there's I guess once you have a community of people that big, and it seems like there was like small groups and big groups and everything like that, so any policy change is gonna have a negative effect on someone.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Um, so that in itself is a whole conversation that I would like to have maybe at another time. The last part of this FK series of questions is, um, oh, I guess that is, it's the same thing basically. How did the server leaders decide to cut the cord? I wrote that before I knew that you were basically the only server leader. So yeah, it was just basically too much stress, too much strain, and it had to end.
Yeah,
It couldn't go on.
pretty much. Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, like, I think the server stayed up for a couple of days, but then, I mean, Tenton was it was the main cog of the machine, and when he got burnt out, it just, Mangos decided to cut it a couple days later because it just kind of crashed and burned. But,
completely
basically,
understandable.
yeah.
Okay, so the last couple of questions then is we talked a lot about, well, I asked a lot of questions about the similarities between and the differences between current PB and previous PB. This is only like what 1.5, 2 years of separation that you are. Are you very familiar with the way PB is now, whether like the community or the game itself or anything like that?
I'm sure it's the same. I think it's probably the same way they've been doing
like
it, bro.
nothing's
They probably never changed. You know, even if you're gone a year, I probably know the same drama, the same dynamic, everything. But yeah, I have been gone for a year, but I pretty much know what's going on, I think. Because it's the same game loop, you know.
Felt exactly the same when we rejoined a couple days ago.
The game loop has never changed. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's our job to address. I assume that is a problem, so it's our job to fix. Because I view it as a huge freaking problem.
I agree.
So, well, I guess with that question, the final question that I had written down, I should probably look at those before I ask them. That would help a lot with my delivery. What major problems do you believe can be solved? Like, what are the biggest problems that are around right now that you think have solutions that are out there? Maybe ones that haven't been said yet, but think have solutions.
Right. So with the current dynamic of the current community, I don't know if you could chime into this too, Tam. I think what is a major issue, specifically for the NA side of the community, not the EU. The EU side is fine with the grindiness and
It's his
stuff.
own beast.
Yeah, the NA side, I believe the main issue of all of this that can save the community probably is by taking out the surfing and moving towards, this is just for the NA side of it. I would think that would help it a lot. Moving towards a bigger epic, more battles and less drama is taking out the grindiness of it, because the main issue is that I come from a different perspective. I was a clan leader that became a mapper, that became a server owner. Usually they're just server owners. They're not like clan leaders. So I saw the whole ladder of this community and this game.
Yes.
So what I saw as a clan leader was the people that really did the work, who were the serfs, got burnt out very easily, and they were abused by the people who just hopped on, because there's a lot of people on the game that just hop on just for PvP, which is fine. But then there's people that hop on that want to do roleplay plus work and then and grind a little bit. But those people were basically abused, and the serfs and stuff like that. And it kind of ruined their experience. I would think so. Like, I really believe that if you take out the grindiness of it, it'll help the clans, because the clan leader doesn't have to manage the mental fatigue of the serfs, and they can really just focus on battle instead of like consumption of supplies and gaining supplies. They can really just focus on gaining different areas and just constantly fighting, and that's what the server needs, is constant fighting. We need to stop worrying about the drama and the BS and stuff like that. They just need to get into formations and battle each other in these epic line battles and stuff like that. And I think the best way to do that is by removing surfing, and I think that will slowly destroy the toxicity of the game. It will just focus on more of roleplay and PvP at the same time. I think so one way I see how they would fix it is in PB. Have you played PB yet, Lomeli? Obviously, like I
played one map.
Yeah, so like when you capture a point, you can use that as a spawn point, right? Yes. So this is what they have to do. They remove surfing, create everything money based. So all the weapons, you don't need to create them. They have an infinite stock amount. You just have to pay money for it. And every time you capture a flag, your team or your clan gains money from it. And you can use that money to buy armor sets for the next war. So you start off with like the worst gear, and then as your clan gains points, gains areas, they start getting more money to buy better gear and faster gear and stuff like that, and spread around the map. And people can counteract them by ganging up on them and attacking them and taking their stuff. It'll lessen the stress on the clan leaders. It'll lessen the stupid castle claims, like, this is my castle, I stay in here. Like, you'll see more people shifting around doing stuff, and you'll see more people playing it, because all they have to do is log on and fight, and you have gear. They don't have to surf, they don't have to do chores, they don't have to do anything.
No longer becomes personal, because that surfing is hours of someone's work. It's like literally they're sitting down for hours. And of course, you get fucking pissed off when someone comes and takes your castle in the span of 5 minutes when you're offline. Yeah, 5 minutes, and then when you get offline, you lose all that work. It's ridiculous. So I think removing surfing, remove resources, remove all of that, make it a money-based game. Every point you take, you collect money into your clan, and every 10 minutes you gain money after every point you take. So there's an incentive. So if you take 10 points, you gain 10 of those points
reoccurring money happens every 15 minutes into the bank accounts of the players in that clan who control those points. So that will create an incentive to spread out along the map and conquer everything and take all the money out. You will have to devise a plan like a money drop system, so people don't have millions of money, millions. So like maybe you make a money drop, 90% of your money drops when you die, or not, or 10% of your money drops for the other player to take it, and then 80% gets deleted from the server when you die, and that would fix it. I think if somebody listens to this video and actually enacts that idea, I think it will. Would definitely help. What do you think, Tim?
I like to. I mean, I completely agree with you that there's this problem with people. It just becomes way too personal with the surfing. It's too difficult and it's too demanding. And I mean, looking back at it, I was stupid when I was surfing a lot. I was too pissed off when someone just came and took the castle all of a sudden because we were 5 people on and they banner called 50 people. It sucks. I mean, I didn't want to play for those days. I just quit.
That's true. I mean, there are some people that say that the current system is not too grindy. I think the essential question is like, how much effort should you have to do to get gear? And I think that I'm someone who is like in love with logistics. I'm one of the people who is like the more that you could actually create a system around war, the more that you can win outside of just numbers, because you can win any 100v1, but like if you have a 50v50, then you have to start thinking, you have to start planning, you have to start using the terrain, the resources, the everything. I'm someone who likes to do that stuff, but if it's like, if that isn't for the community we have now, if that only creates barriers to fighting, which is what people want, then I guess we can't have it. It's like bandits, right? Bandits in the current iteration are a huge problem because for many reasons. I won't elaborate, but they're a huge problem, and some people think that we just shouldn't have them. And I think bandits are great. I think bandits are great because they create an agent of chaos that makes sure that no matter how stable you are, there's always a challenge. However, there's no building, there's no stability to be messed with. So we don't need bandits here because there's nothing to bandit from, essentially. And so I think we don't need them here, just in the same way you don't think that we need surfing. I think they're good things to have if you have a foundation, but we don't now. We have to start from ground zero, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. There has to be a total shift.
I mean, I agree that I would too like the idea of this logistical system with the surfing. I mean, something like Anvil Empires, it completely builds off of that, and I love that idea. But it just doesn't seem like
it just
kind of got the stuff right
this.
now to support this at the moment. I mean, from what it looks like, it's more like surfing has been forced into a game module that doesn't really fit too well with it.
Yeah, and I could build on that, Tam. I think it's too congested. It's too much toxic behavior happening right now, and I think the only way out of it, toxic and congestion and lack of creativity and stuff like that, all of it combined, I think it just works against surfing right now. Even the outlaws too, because I don't know how annoying it is to like. I actually like imagine surfing all day and then it gets wiped out. It's just an annoyance that can be fixed. And then maybe like along the line, bit like you can add surfing back or some kind of resource gathering. Like say plate armor. You want the best gear, and you have to verse, like you were saying, a 50v50, and you have to think about getting the best gear. Okay, so we can add a mine that has gold in it, and whoever controls this mine pit, and this mine pit will be in the center of the map, they can create plate armor only if they have gold ingots that you have to mine. So there's other ways around it, and I think you're saying the path to it is by lessening the load, and I think the load right now is way. It's way it's almost like Life is Feudal. You know that game?
No.
It's Mango. If you ever meet Mango and he lets you play that game, or he tries to make you play it, don't accept the invite, because you'll just be making a road, bro. You'll make a road in that game, and it'll take you literally 5 hours to make a in-game road, like carving it out, terraforming it, flattening the terrain. Like the grind. And that game, Life is Feudal, completely died. It, like the developers left everything because it was too grindy. There has to be a medium, or it has to be, personally for me, I think it has to be radical and just take it all out.
Yeah, well,
Or,
I was going to
you know,
analogize it toward a building. Like, if you have, suddenly in the middle of a building, halfway up, maybe like a skyscraper or something, halfway up a skyscraper, suddenly a hole appears. And you're like, we have to obviously fix that. But it's incredibly hard to fix like a hole that's carved out of a building. So right now, what we have to do, if we really want the building to be higher and higher and higher, we have to start over, because anything we build on top of this is going to collapse. So let's start, A, B, C. We have the people, we have the ability, right? And everyone who makes the servers, like what you were highlighting in this whole discussion, is that the community only works and it's able to do all of these great things because of the people who put their skills into it. We have mappers, we have modders, we have skinners, we have teams, we have players in those teams, we have small ones, big ones, we have everything, right? But what we need is for those people to be in the proper relationship, in the proper communication. And right now, there's no relationship or communication. And so I guess the next step we have to do is to get the mappers and modders and skinners and team leaders and players to talk, to make their opinions known, to reconcile all of their different thoughts, so that we can all play a server that we like. And also, here's another radical thing. There are some toxic people in the community that need to leave the community. They won't leave by themselves. I don't know if I need to go further with that.
Purge them! Purge them!
That's essentially what I'm saying. Because it's kind of like prison,
FK,
right?
The FK Discord.
FK? Is that
the FK Discord
like
had a yapper? We had a yapper channel that we would put all the toxic people in there, and they would be segregated from the main majority population. So we put all the toxic people in one chat. Like nobody else could see them. They could only see one chat room, and it was the most vile chat room ever.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. We basically need more of that, because it's like, it's a prison. Humans are social animals, right? It would be the worst thing you can do to them is put them by themselves. We can have a separate place. We can have a separate place where all the toxic people go, and the people who are willing to follow rules, the people who are willing to play this game and play it well and be a part of a community, they can come here. If you're not willing to do that,
it's so true.
Leave.
I'm telling you, Lamella, I literally had one guy in there for a whole week, and after, every day he would send me a message like, let me out, please. The 7th day, he wrote me a nice letter. He was like, listen, I won't be toxic anymore.
Oh my God.
I'm done doing this. I'll turn off the mic. Whatever you do, just let me back into the main population. They just have to get trained. They have to get retrained and then put back into the main population.
You know what they call that? They call it rehabilitation.
Exactly. That's the word. They have to be rehabilitated.
Man, okay. You might be a clone. You might have just been born a couple years before I was.
Dude, you should have been there for FK. You would have loved it.
Man, I wish I was wasting my time on Minecraft, bro. I don't know why I did that.
Dude, you would have been a great, I would have made you like a Lord Master, someone in charge of the Abbey or something.
Perhaps.
It would have been cool.
Perhaps. Well, I guess now we have the opportunity to rectify the ills of me not being there previously. I'll do the best I can to fix what I can before I die.
You're on the path, dude. You're on the path.
Yes. Okay, so that was all the questions that I have. Patty Nadros, I asked if he would be willing to hop in here. He is in a war.
Yeah.
He's in a battle right now, so we'll wish him luck. we have 4
Good luck,
concurrent
Patty.
viewers now, 43 total so far, but 5 concurrent viewers now. If any of you have comments or questions or concerns, leave them there, and we will address them. I guess some of the ones that were previous that I didn't go over. Layer Soldier 113 says Tenton and TammTamm are back in the house. Is that true? Are y'all back in the house?
Tell PB to not put our banks in negative numbers and let us join factions, and then we will be
Back in the house it is. PB, set their bank accounts right. I beg you, man.
Let us out.
FK
Free
is
us.
peak. FK forever. FK forever.
Yeah.
3 different people said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
True warriors.
Yes. Sup, Tenton. Finally, the King of Pike returns from Xanath 113.
Hail, good lord.
All right. Yeah, this is great. This has been a great conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think next week or the week after, I'm hosting a huge discussion for PB. I got as many clan leaders as I could. I have one mapper who made a map.
Nice.
And we have a special guest who runs a community server, like that one kind of central server that you were talking about, but this is kind of just for
Right.
non-affiliated multiplayer Bannerlord players. It's called the Order of Whispers,
Right.
and that is in the link to that is
That's
in all of my
pretty cool.
videos. So I will. Oh, and Talbro7 says, "What up, lil bro? What up, big bro?" Last thing, actually, is I think y'all will get a kick out of it. I might be tooting my own horn here, but I think I have earned it
No, go for it.
slightly. I made some maps for the border crossing map in PB, the most recent one, I think. I want to see what y'all think of it.
Oh, sure.
It's basically like just me scribbling some notes, and I will put it on the Steam browser as well for y'all.
I could tell just by looking at this, you definitely play Total War.
I definitely do play
100%.
Total War. I do indeed.
Because you have the hills, you got the choke points. I see the area. Yeah, it's very strategic. I like it. I think anything with a natural border on the map is a great way for a leader to strategize and move their clan in positions to be favorable for them.
Yes.
We see New Haven.
I meant for this to be like and a lot of this is made up, right? Like these names are definitely made up. But I just basically went around the map when they gave us a sneak peek, and I marked all the stuff that I saw that I thought would be good, both from like the first map that you see is essentially how easy is it going to be for formations to move across the map. The second map is more what do the players need to know, like where are the important stuff. So things like this, I think are pretty cool. I have heard a lot about PB, and I'm not in the Discord. I probably will have to check out some of the stuff there, but things like giving names to some of these continents, like y'all did probably. I would probably definitely, right? That you had the map over here.
Yeah, we had lore. Yeah, everything.
Yeah, you had lore for it. You had histories. You had clans that there was capitals and bound settlements, kind of
themes.
Do
you
awesome.
see the second picture? The rock. The rock. What is that? The rock.
The rock. Yeah, it's the Trifort.
Yeah, did you make that? Oh, okay. That's where me and Tam would probably live.
Really?
The rock.
I'll tell you,
it's a rock religion.
It's incredibly hard to siege. I'll tell you that.
It's beautiful.
But yes, I wanted to show these maps because, well, firstly, I put hard work into them. But secondly, because I think a lot of the issues with PB come where it's like, hey, maybe we should think about this thing a little bit differently. Maybe, doing the same strategy and losing 5 times in a row, we should probably do a different strategy. And they're like, no, we can't. The rules don't allow it. The community does not allow it. So yeah, we let's expand our minds and expand
Agreed.
the total attention toward growth, right?
Agreed. Did you ever watch Vikings HBO?
HBO Vikings? No, I did watch Rome and Game of Thrones on HBO, but not
Oh, okay.
Vikings.
But HBO made Vikings.
It's the best. It showed a lot of that, like who was that guy? Ivar the Boneless. Like he was like a real strategist. Like he used all the terrain to win. So like I like that. Like you give people more opportunities to win by doing that.
Yes, yes, and terrain
I
is
think
not the only thing. It's also economy. It's
yeah.
also politics. It's also
Yeah.
whatever else.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think there needs to be more fields, like vast fields, like a vast field with sporadic small villages with little wooden fences around them, like more land, and then maybe like a mountain or two, or and then streams and village and little bridges. But like vast fields would be nice to see field battles in, because most of these maps really are against cavalry. There's a lot of these maps that are just.
I think
There's
the
not a lot
previous
of
map was very
places.
good for cavalry. It was a lot of it was like kind of one solid mass with some islands in the middle. But this map, I agree, it's not great for cav. Archers, I think, have a great time here, but not great for cav. But open
Yeah.
fields, I think, would be great. In the video that I have coming out tonight, I talk a little bit about how you have certain resource circulation, right? You have resources that are made, that are taken from others, sold, and kept, and they stay in circulation. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get taken out of circulation and they stay out, and so there's nothing for anyone to pick up. Having big fields, like you said, would create like graveyards,
Yeah.
right? Like scavengers of all kinds, merchants, mercenaries, respawns, or just any like new players that come across. Hey, there's a field battle. Well, there's a sword on the ground. Maybe I'll just pick that up. Hey, there's a cool helmet. I'll just take that.
Yeah.
It's that
Patty,
creates circulation.
Yeah. Once we talked to Patty, he told me a story. The first time he saw me was like leading a field battle, and it inspired him to be a leader too. And that's what players need to see. Like the new players that just come in, like watching huge formations moving in lines, attacking each other, and feel like it would be. I just think there needs to be more field battles, and I'm against the sieges. I feel like sieges are very boring, and they're very time consuming. There's not enough creativity, like you're saying, like how you're depicting this map with these little rivers around. It's like, no, I want to move. I want to split up my army into 3 sections, and I want to move them around the map and flank you and stuff like that. You can't really do that in a siege.
And you know what? I have not seen boats
y-
used very much
yeah.
in this map, and half of the map is water, right? I don't see boats being used.
You could
can put
land an
carts.
army behind them.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You can do all of that, but like it's so limited to sieging. Like sieging is so boring. It's like it kills my soul. Just like sieges are like all you do is hold a gateway, and then they line up their heavy cavalry and they push the gateway, and after the heavy cavalry break through your front line, they rush in 3 different clans of infantry, and then you're just screwed. Unless actually I'm gonna say Gondor is the best at holding sieges. They've kicked our ass many times in many occasions.
Yeah. Those sieges, they
Gondors.
were pain.
It's pain. They brought pain to us.
Yeah, Gondor is famous.
But one day Gondor would fall. Gondor would fall one day.
Maybe one day, but someone has to take him down. It won't happen by itself, right?
That's true. That's when you come in, Lomeli.
Well,
you become the new emperor.
I'm kind of shit at the game. I don't know if you know, but it's like they say those who can't do teach. I'm very good at tactics for a reason, and I'll let that speak for itself.
Well, those who rule also write books, and this is basically the new form of writing books is through talking.
I suppose
so. So you could definitely do it if you put your heart to it.
Perhaps
if you want to.
Now, I have no reason to make Gondor my enemy unless, we'll see. Maybe one day.
You must buy mercenary companies, Lomeli. There's many mercenary companies. Hire them all.
Yeah, no, mercenaries is another thing. I'd love the idea of like
Yeah.
maybe if your clan isn't strong enough to take a castle, or you don't want to hold the village, or you just want to be on for like 1 or 2 days, just be like, hey, who wants to hire us? Get like an easy 10K per person, plus
Yeah,
gear
easy.
included, and be like, hey, we'll fight in whatever wars you're in, defensive, offensive, we don't care. For the next like 48 hours, we're your boys, but you gotta pay up. Like that would be so simple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've utilized mercenaries many a times. They're very good.
I think
Unfortunately,
Sometimes they
thing is,
there are only
betray
like
you.
2 groups who made
Sometimes
me
they
do it.
betray you though. They betrayed me. If you don't pay them, bro, they join the other side and they attack you.
That's true. Yeah,
As they
that's
should. As they
historically
should.
accurate, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, there was
The
an
mercenary
instance
stare.
like that
a
on
mercenary stare.
the mercenary stare. I haven't heard of that.
It's a
You
great
gotta look it
meme.
up. You gotta look it up.
Mercenary. Okay, is that on Google? Let's see. The mercenary
You,
stare.
dude, you need to do this like Joe Rogan. Like he has like a little screen
Yeah,
where you can
Jamie,
pull up
pull this
random
up.
things.
I need it. What is my Jamie?
Where's your Jeremy, bro?
Here, I'll
Jamie.
send it in chat.
Let's see.
Where's your Jamie?
When you're losing the battle and start talking about honor and loyalty things.
This is literally. This is
Oh my
literally
goodness.
it, dude. This is it. You start losing. That's literally every time. House Pike were mercenaries at one point, and when we were losing the battle, like we were hired by.
Okay.
So we were hired by like Gondor, like we were hired by like some big faction, and we would join their battle. We would fight in the front line, but as soon as we knew that they brought up their heavy cavalry and their onagers and stuff, we made an escape plan. We had a boat in the back. We jumped off the wall and we would just leave. We would change factions and leave. Yeah, that's mercenary work for you.
Well, that's
Good
politics,
old
right?
mercenary.
That's you got to have the
Yeah, yeah.
charisma to make them not do that, or enough money
Yeah.
to make them not do that at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, it's better to form a. There's many marriages that happened.
Oh
I'll
my
say
god.
that between grown men.
Oh
just,
my goodness.
just like it was 2 marriages that we would have to do, you know, to solidify an alliance, and I think that's better because it builds camaraderie than hiring mercenaries.
I mean, like
And
most of those
would
weddings
these
just
be, like-
turned into massacres.
Would these
Yeah.
communities members that would get married, would
Oh,
they
I
have to
gotta
like
show you.
swap clans and stuff like that, or like temporarily? Or is this just like
I gotta show you this video.
okay?
Hold on.
Take your time.
Let
That
me
mercenary
send
stare
it to
is
you.
a good meme. I'm surprised I haven't heard that one before.
This is Asmongold,
Okay.
and
Oh damn, 700 players. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's see this here. Should I turn the sound
oh
down?
no, this is the best one. This one right here. No, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this. Hold on. This one right here. This one was a marriage between House Pike and another. So I went over there with my whole army, and Asmongold was watching this. And we had a marriage. If you skip to the last parts, I think you'll see it. And then there was a big battle. But you'll see that
Yes.
House Pike lined up.
Funny thing, these marriages were meant to forge alliances. Every single one of these wedding ceremonies led to
Every
a
single one.
fucking massacre.
Yeah, every single one was a red wedding. Every single one.
Every single one. I mean, staying
There's-
true to the lore, right?
Yeah, it was fun though. It was a good experience. But yeah, it's a shame, you know, because there's people like Asmongold that want to play this stuff, but the server is so laggy.
Yes.
And you want to bring all these people, but the server keeps crashing when you have big battles, and that's why I think you should get rid of surfing, because I don't think that the server can handle what the vision is.
Yes, not yet.
Of
I feel
Pete.
like
It's
kind of
not
like we were
yet.
saying
It's not there
before,
yet.
if you have say like an Asmongold figure who brings a lot of people, or maybe just like over the course of one summer the game blows up, gets very popular, you get like, you know, the same kind of influx. The server as it was when Asmongold joined, for example, was sustainable to what, 100, 200 people. But if you have like 600,
About
700 people, that's gonna
it would
cause
just
issues
flag.
no matter what.
Yeah,
And so I think that that's another reason to like start from ground zero again, because we all know that we want to get to these 500 player battles, these 800 player battles, but every time we try, when we can, finally tell
just
the
not
clan
there
leaders to
yet.
shut up and put their issues aside and all come to the same place, even when we can do that, we still, have a mechanical issue. Maybe it's a funding thing, maybe it's a server thing, maybe it's an IT thing, but the solution of getting
It's
everybody
all of it.
together,
That's all of it.
yes, talking about the
Yeah.
It's
logistics,
even Tailword's fault.
even Tailworlds.
Yeah, Tailworlds
Well,
is the
maybe,
worst.
yeah, because I guess it
Whoever's
is
in
their game.
Tailworlds and you're watching this, you have to fix your game. If you don't fix your game, no one's gonna play it. I'm telling you.
This is
Focus
true.
on the multiplayer.
Where's the
Don't focus
support
on
for
single player.
multiplayer, man?
Yep.
Do the multiplayer. Do work on the mods. Come on, Tailworlds.
You
You have
know,
to do it,
I
and
think
work on the servers. Don't let them crash.
there was an event that Samsung sponsored, which is crazy. I have a friend, I won't
What
say
the
what
hell?
country. I have a friend in a foreign country who works for Samsung. He had no idea. He didn't know nothing about it.
It's
But
Korea, isn't
Samsung
it?
sponsored an event through KTE, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least a streamer in KTE. And that's EU, I think. And that was one of the biggest things that we had, and it was actually pretty stable. Do you know why? Because Europeans are used to having a
Why?
lot of players in their server. Learn from that, NA, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very big phenomenon between NA because it's a very big phenomenon between NA and EU because there's the same issues, but EU is surviving, and it's very strange to watch that.
I mean, EU.
And I think we
so
all know.
different.
I think we all know. Yeah, it's different. The only thing why EU is more successful than NA, and I'm going to tell you here right now, and not a lot of people are going to tell you this, is literally because they're split up into different countries. Each clan, it's only Polish people in one clan. It's only it's only Germans in one clan because they can't speak English. It's just
It doesn't get personal.
It's literally they're in their own country already.
You know what?
In
That
their
makes
clan.
so much
Like,
sense.
yeah, they can't move out of it. They're just there because it's like being in a small town and not a city. You're talking to the same people, and then when you go to a different town, they're talking German. It's like I can't hang out with these guys. You know what I mean? So it's like it's literally because they're split into different languages. That's why they're winning. That's why they're better. That's why. There's yeah. It's
I mean, I can
less
say
focused
this.
on the individual. It's more of a group over there, group minded.
Yes.
It's less individual stuff.
Yes. I guess like individual issues get focused on less, and so there's not a lot of barrier to the mass multiplayer aspect.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I mean, like on NA, I've never experienced a silent siege, a silent war. But I mean, I don't know how many times on EU I've experienced like complete silence during a war. No one says a thing. It's like
yeah, exactly.
It'll be like 200 people fighting. It's just completely quiet. No one's saying a word because half of them, or probably more than half, can't speak English, and the other half, well, they know it's useless to speak English because no one will get them. So they all just speak in Discord their native languages. Nothing is personal. I mean, that's the pro of it.
You know, yeah, like nothing gets personal.
That's
And
true.
I want to give a special shout out to Seducing Vocals. He's the leader of a clan called
he's a good guy.
NATO, the Teutonic Order, and he mentioned something in an interview with another person. And the exact words, let me get them because I wanted these to be highlighted. These words, he said, "Nobody's mad, everybody's cool." When he was describing like how persistence used to be, and how you could have wars without drama following it. The quote was, "Nobody's mad, everybody's cool." That I think is a philosophy that we need to make one of the fundamental concepts in this new foundation that we're starting here.
Yeah, I agree. I also agree that there needs to be more voices. They can't be the same people.
Yes.
They can't be the same people. There has to be different voices that have their own groups, you know, because regardless if it's the same people doing it over and over and over and again and gatekeeping the community, it's eventually going to die out just because of that. Yeah, so I think there needs to be more voices, but I do agree with seducing vocals as well.
Yes. The guarantee there is that your players, like if you're a clan leader, like you're not gonna let your players be mad over something that happened in the game and then let it go outside of the game. Too many times.
Yeah.
I've heard too many, I've seen too many wasted texts. Like you type all these words because you're mad,
Oh
and
yeah.
then it just gets
Oh
surrounded in
yeah.
Discord with like gifs, and some people say, "Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you."
Yeah.
I agree. I'm also mad about that, and then nothing gets solved. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, so
It's just
nobody's mad.
yapping.
Everybody's cool. That's it. That's the baseline. And if that doesn't fit you, then take a break and come to the next event, because I'm sure you'll like the next event better. But just take a break.
Yeah, I agree. And push for no surfing. No surfing.
Just
Or a little bit of
Well,
surfing.
no have to be mad.
yes, yeah, no surfing for now. Yeah, for now, no surfing.
For now, until the servers get better and there's less technical issues.
We
I'd
have
say.
Carlos Sanz in the comments. I think I'm familiar with this person, but I don't want to dox their name. But they are a Bannerlord player. So more clans. I agree. More clans. Y'all agree? More clans?
Completely agree.
More
I
Completely.
clans.
agree.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, like, aren't the main players that are like on the PB server right now the same players that were like a year ago? Like,
Yeah, that's the
Basically,
issue.
stagnant.
There's no new. There's very little new faces. It's the same people playing for year. I mean, even me, I'm one of those guys. I played since I was 12, I think.
12.
yeah, exactly.
Damn.
I
No
was
hate to them.
very
It's
young.
just like, where are the new people?
Yeah.
Where are the new formed
But
clans?
sporadically, not like not on, like very on and off. Like I would take a
Yeah,
couple of years
okay,
breaking,
okay.
but like it was just me playing for that long, and there's a lot of people who are like that. A lot of the clan leaders you'll meet that have been playing for so long, but it's like, how do we get new, different players
Different
from
players.
different communities?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
from different communities.
one of the issues that we've talked about in previous episodes is the split between, how much time do the clans dedicate to their own events, because there are more like self-hosted, like clan-hosted individual events out there. So the debate, there has been a debate forming, like how much time do we dedicate to PB as opposed to as a community, as an NA community, going to support these new NA events. I think that is a great debate to have, but it is kind of a step too far. I think we need to firstly figure out
Yeah,
how
step by step.
like how do we get these different players in? How do we get like
Yeah.
little clans to like test around and do some stuff, make some stories on PB, while these events that only big clans can go to, like we give them some space, give them some time, right?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
when I was leading FK, that was an issue I had to solve, was gaining more people from different places. And the best way to do it that I did it was inviting people like you and doing and holding like little TikToks and stuff of it and spreading the noise that way through various social medias of having like influence.
Oop. I think you cut out there. Oh, I hope I didn't cut out.
I think he's having a bit of.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait.
Yeah. We'll be back in a second.
Do you have any
It's a question
Oh,
for
there he
you,
is.
I think. Look,
I'm sorry, your answer cut out there. If you could go back over that just a little bit.
So basically I was saying like how like to gain more people, I would say, is by inviting influencers, also reaching out to actual LARPing communities. I'll be honest with you. There's LARPing communities on Discord. There's many Discords out there that have role-playing communities. Or if you don't want to target that audience, Mordhau. Try to look for similar games with similar-minded people. Mordhau that are like more PvP, medieval-based stuff. And then researching communities and influencers within those within those games. If you could find those people, you can sit down, you could talk with them and have a conversation and send them this video or like whatever. And I think that's the way to open it up, is by looking in the right place, that you'll find the right audience for the game. And I think that's finding similar games that are like Bannerlord that will attract the same kind of people, and going into their communities, like say Anvil Empires. Anvil Empires, I guarantee anyone from Anvil Empires would want to play Bannerlord. Anyone. So there's many different communities that you can look on. Discord is a great asset to use. Discord community leaders as well to talk to. And yeah, you just have to be creative. You have to think out the box, I think, to find new faces. But it first comes in what you were saying. You want to build a house, you got to build the foundation first, because you can keep building and it'll fall. If you don't have a good foundation. And I think that's what the focus needs to be on, is not finding new people. It's about fixing what you got now and then building on that. And because right now it's a mess. It's something that will only last a couple more months and then it'll die out again. And it repeats itself over and over and over. It's like you know what the definition of craziness
Insanity?
is?
The definition of insanity is doing the same
The
thing over and over and expecting
exactly.
a different
Play the
result.
Far Cry clip.
Exactly.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's exactly what this community is. It's insane. I want to hate on anybody, but like they do the same thing over and over and over again.
If you describe this insanity, you would be describing half the community. So it's not pointing fingers.
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating for people like us to watch, because we see the issue and we're just like, why do we keep doing the same thing over and over? Like, why? Like, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, I mean, if you could get more people to talk and get different voices, they'll come up with different perspectives, and it'll dilute the problem, I think. So yeah. But it's almost time though.
Oh, right.
I don't know if I could.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll try to get you on for as much as we can. This has been great. And if you have any final thoughts for the audience, any final messages, we'll go ahead and end on that.
You want to start, Tam? You say something, Tam.
Well,
something
I just want
inspiring.
to thank everyone who was part of FK. Like, honestly,
Yeah,
that was one of the greatest gaming experiences I've ever had. Like, I had really fun making the small parts of the map that I did, and eventually playing it, being part of the Abbey, and just playing with everyone who was part of it. I mean, just thank you, I guess.
Yeah, I agree too. Big thanks to Mango. Could not have done that without Mango. Could not have done it with Kyra, Holocron, Zalik, Patty. Thanks for holding it together. Patty held the line with the community's leaders and like tried to make people, like you were saying, everybody's cool. What was that saying you said? Everybody's.
Let me get it again. Shout out again to Seducing Vocals, who made this. I don't know if he got it from somewhere else, but he's the guy who popularized it. Nobody's mad, everybody's cool.
Yeah, that is a great saying. Like, Patty lived by that, and he like whenever there was an issue with clan leaders, Patty would step in and try to resolve it before it gets out of hand. So there's people like that, and I think when you see a messed up community, what you have to look for is the helpers. It's the people who are helping. You have to find those people, and those people will band together and they'll form something, and they'll change things. So there was a lot of people like that. Definitely shout out to all the admins that helped me. There's about 20. There's probably like 15 of them. So all the admins, all the people, all the clan leaders that participated in FK, thank you so much. That was so much fun. And all the people helping with the assets. There was a couple of people who gave us free assets as well.
Grafton.
Grafton. Oh my God, I couldn't forget about that guy. Grafton was the third hand man, like with technical stuff. and creating and designing the idea. And he was a computer science major, so he knew how to do stuff. So yeah, thank you for Grafton. That was a big help, and his whole clan too as well. But I hope the community listens to people like Lamelli and like creating banners across America. I feel like this is a movement to follow, and I feel like people should participate in this more. And different people, if you have a voice. If you don't have a clan, doesn't matter. You could be anyone. Definitely join a movement like this, Banners Across America. It's a great. I think it'll shift things in a more positive way because you're making it so public. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's not in a back room with only 6 people like the Illuminati. Like it's not like 6 clan leaders in one room discussing.
It's not a group
like
chat
fiddling
in
their
Discord,
fingers.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not. It's where everybody could see it and everybody can have a voice and opinion on it, and it'll shift people's minds.
Yeah, and for anyone who didn't know already, this is a public platform. You can come on as a community member or a clan leader. It doesn't matter who you are. If you want to come on, you can come on. So say what you need to say. And it's live. The only thing that the audience doesn't know is the questions that I'm typing out. Other than that, everything is public. Everything is live. And as long as there is a good conversation that needs to be had, I will try to have that conversation here. Unless I'm made irrelevant. That would be great if I'm made irrelevant, because that means there's other people doing so much that this becomes only 1%. Please make that happen. That'll be mission accomplished.
Let's get you to like 10,000 subs first.
Maybe, yeah. Give me like at least 3K first. Give me there.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'd be interested working with you once I'm trying to do something for Anvil Empires, so maybe you could help me with that, make videos and stuff. I don't know.
For sure.
We'll see. Yeah. But thank you so much, Lamelli. Very good interview. Like the way you say questions and stuff, and these long pauses of letting the person speak is very, very good. Like you have a good cadence.
Thank you.
So you're doing a great job. Just keep doing what you're doing, and then you'll be. I know you're going to do good stuff for people.
I will try my best, and thank you all for coming on. Y'all have I'm sure y'all have very busy days. Y'all have a lot that you're doing, and you're community legends. And I'm I don't even have 100 subs on YouTube yet. I'm just a regular guy in a regular clan. But y'all have graced the community with a great conversation, almost 2 hours, and hopefully many more hours in the future.
2 hours,
almost 2 hours. Yes, so we will end this. We will end this soon and come back soon.
Perfect.
All right. I'll end the stream now. Goodbye. I love you all.